All right. Very clippable moment, yes. So here we go. Y'all ready?
There is growing outrage tonight after an unarmed African-American teenager was shot.
We got Freddie Gray, we got Michael Brown, and we got starts with a T. Tamir Rice, I'm sorry.
Shot and killed by police.
Right. I remember Rakia Boyd.
Police violence against Black women is very real. Why is it that their lost lives don't generate the same amount of media attention and communal outcry as the lost lives of their fallen brothers?
Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. They had to come up with this specifically because it's not talked about. Meanwhile, we're arguing about who has fucking ownership over a hashtag to the point where the entire fucking Twitter space is talking about this shit, right? But, you know, not important. We're talking about it because
These women,
Corinne Gaines here in Baltimore. Corinne Gaines got killed 2 blocks from where I fucking used to live. From my house that burned down, I remember when Corinne Gaines got because they almost blew her son's fucking arm off.
There are no frames for us to see them, no frames for us to remember them, no frames for us to hold them. We have to be willing to bear witness to the often painful realities that we would just rather not confront. The everyday violence and humiliation that many Black women have had to face.
You know what, Fraggle? It's funny you mentioned that because I don't think we were just talking about how it's like, here's my thing, because here's been my thing from the beginning, right? I'm on Joe Budden time with this shit. When I see the discourse, I see a million opportunities to stop this shit and to just stop saying things, right? So at first, it might not have been on All Lives Matter time. That's what we were saying earlier. We don't necessarily agree with just using the hashtag being on All Lives Matter time, but they took it there for us. They certainly took it there for us, and it didn't take much.
We can't be quiet. We have a voice, and we need to come together as sisters and unite, and we fight. Fight.
Dog, a whole ass, the African American Policy Forum, a whole ass political organization that came up with this, right? And motherfuckers are calling it's just a slogan. It's just a hashtag. 2 different organizations. I apologize for my outburst. Please do, if you do 2 things for me, please stop talking about the Black community and the trans community as if they're 2 separate entities. Please understand and acknowledge that black women exist. That's number one. Number two, when you acknowledge that they exist, after you get done, you pick your jaw up off the floor and you remember that black woman exists, and you switch off the shock Pikachu face. Stop fucking playing with them. Stop playing with black women, yo. 2 fucking political organizations that workshop the say her name hashtag based on mountains of research and data, and you're like, nah, it's a slogan. Nah, it's just a hashtag. You made this, I made this. You know what I mean? It's just, it's you could say that black people are making it all about us, because it was, but you could also not. You know what I mean? You could not do that. It's very easy to just not do that. In fact, like, it's crazy. It's like wild how easy it is to just say nothing at all. You know what I mean? You could just not say anything. You feel me? If you're trying to figure out a good way to support both the black community and the trans communities at the same time, a good way to start would be to stop fucking thinking of them as 2 separate communities. That'd be an excellent, jumping off point. I feel like that would be a good launch pad. You know what I mean? Just a suggestion, though. I mean, I'm cis, as far as anyone knows. You know what I mean? I move through the world as a man, as a cis man. And I might be speaking out of my depth here, but I as stated previously, between the area where I live and the industry that I grew up in and was exposed to, I have seen a fucking mountain of dead bodies of black trans women who don't even get acknowledged, are not even buried with the fucking decency to use their actual name. They have to leave this world with their dead name. You understand how fucking... Oh, dude. Okay. So we're gonna... all right. Pyro's in chat. Let's get in there. What's good, Pyreezy? We got Pyrex in the chat.
I'm on my Fed game today. You know, we've been diagnosed, we've been found out, endless.
The psyop,
out, damn it!
It's wild because here's the psyop, right? Because
hold on, let them see me, because they don't know what you're seeing.
Hold on, I gotta Let me hold up. All right, let me first fucking. Here we go. Yeah, I gotta pop the video shits out. Because we're, you know what I'm saying? The Matrix. We're the FBI agents. We're the feds. We are the feds. Surprise. We've been the feds this whole time.
They found us out, man. They found us out. I don't know how they did it. Us just, complaining in our own little corner of Twitch. They found us out. It's the Fed game, right? Because I realize what the PSYOP game is. It's whenever white leftists get told politely to maybe sit the fuck down. Oh, then it's a Fed. Then it's an op. Then we can't take it seriously because it's just ridiculous.
What
when
if
they get their way? That's just leftism.
Hear me out. No, follow me here. Hear me out. Because we know
I can't even continue the fucking bit, man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we know that historically psyops were used to do what? Devalue and discredit and water down black power movements and shit, right? What if,
exactly.
And this might be far-fetched, but follow me here. What if this type of shit happens in continuance of that, where we have something that's very meaningful and something that's very specific, targeted toward a very specific issue, and when it gets used for something that's not that, and it gets pointed out as not being used for that, not even saying that, hey, you can't use that for that, just saying, hey, you're using this for something other than what it was originally intended. When you do that, can you please at least acknowledge what the fuck you got that shit from? And then we spend the next 48 hours arguing about how black people own oppression and hashtags.
So this is why I came onto it, because like instead of like, because we can do the thing, right? We angry about it. Of course, we can do the thing, and we can. I'm gonna explain it, because like I noticed that the psyop is the fucking big streamers. It's the big time streamers who hopped in on this. And what did the Voshes say? What did they all say? Oh, this is an obvious psyop, and we shouldn't drive a wedge between the black and trans community. And they fail to realize that in saying shit like that, they completely do the thing that Endless was talking about earlier.
Right.
They erase the foundational black element that was used in LGBTQ movements, fucking women's rights liberations, all three waves of fucking feminism. It's something that keeps happening over and over and over again the more you look at our leftist movements in America. Black people are foundational, and because of our hard past with slavery, the Civil War, Jim Crow shit, workers don't necessarily like black people. So we get kicked out of unions, we get kicked out of women's rights movements, we get kicked out of the LGBT. And that's the history of how this shit happened. And now we're in the modern day where this shit still does happen. You look at the algorithms. They talk about how black people, black faces, black voices are pushed down in the algorithm. But what manages to happen? Our speech does, our slang pops up. That just becomes internet speak.
Right. TikTok dances. That's what I'm saying, yo. Stonewall, partly, during when Stonewall happened, they had segregated gay clubs already. There was the white gays and then there's the black gays, right? We see that shit happening to fucking day, right? And I said this in that conversation.
They're trying to erase Marsha P from like Stonewall and shit right now.
No, not even just that. I mean, in the day-to-day life, my nigga, gentrification, right? You will see very, very quick the poorer queer black districts turn into art districts like that, right? And when I mentioned that in a fucking conversation I was having with another prominent black streamer who's probably saying some goofy shit right now, and that conversation was being observed by another white trans streamer who is extremely goofy and white. And they were made very uncomfortable dealing with that reality because it made them look inward for a second about the fact that they make money on YouTube. YouTube pays their bills, and they probably live amongst niggas who are just as queer, just as gay, all that shit, and don't have a million fucking followers.
Can I just say one thing on that? Because I remember that conversation, and I remember the pushback that was levied at you after. And it's the same pushback that's leveled at everyone that brings up the gentrification problem. And it's that, oh, you just don't want your neighborhoods to be nicer because what else aren't we just doing? No, that's not the problem. When we say gentrification, what we're talking about is the update and upkeep and infrastructure and quality, but the pricing out of the people who have lived there for generations.
The displacement of people who have,
exactly. So that's what we're talking about. We are completely fine if they want to build all of these facilities and make these neighborhoods nicer, make the ghettos nice main streets of art and revitalization, but you need to make it so that these people can still afford to fucking live there. Because the thing we see time and time again, and unfortunately South Park had the fucking balls to put it on TV, is that when they create these Soho districts, when they create these revitalized areas of urban new, and they're not priced for the people who need them. The disabled people, the black people, the fucking LGBTQ, all of those people are priced fucking out if they're poor. And the only people you see are the fucking, unironic, the coastal fucking lefties you see on fucking Twitter and YouTube. The people that motherfuckers are honestly tired of. Because yes, those peoples are the ones dominating the conversation. Every time the marginalized try and speak up, we're told, nope, you get back in your cage. And honestly, we're fucking tired. That's the conversation. Rest in peace, Breonna Gay. She's getting justice. Her killers are being charged.
They're going to trial in 2 months. They're going to trial in 2 months.
Women this year that have been killed, that no one has talked about, that we don't even know because their police reports haven't even been looked at. That's why people are talking about this. That's why people are upset that TikTok, a known fucking, guilty pleasure of stealing black fucking, community shit.
And I'm gonna keep it a
We
band.
see it.
That's what makes that whole shit even more wild to me, is the fact that I didn't know Brianna Gay was like a TikTok star before I started the stream. I thought she was just like a regular schmegular like school student. You know what I mean? Like that got clapped, and that's sad as fuck. You know what I mean?
That doesn't matter. She's a poor individual in this fight against transphobia that the black community, trans people, everyone, the integration in this community that we're fighting. And the one time we're just like, yo, we get it. You're getting justice though. This isn't the slogan for her. The slogan is made for black women in America. And I would even go so far as to say women in America, people in general, who don't get the fucking justice they deserve. They get murdered and then their cases are buried. They get murdered and their families have to go lives without knowing what the fuck happened to my son or my daughter. They don't know why.
Sandra Bland's death was ruled a fucking suicide.
Bink's right. Black children who are
Black
shot on the
kids.
fucking street.
Tamir Rice.
For doing shit that we deem as like 80s nostalgia. Oh, I remember when I was able to just go out and play with a bottle cap gun. Well, we don't, because we get fucking shot for it.
Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, fucking Trayvon Martin. This nigga George Zimmerman is still out here selling memorabilia, selling paintings and shit, yo.
The psyop, I'll say this and then I'll let you spit. The psyop here isn't that black people made it about ourselves. The psyop is that some people saw that black people had a criticism that we've been having for about 80 fucking years. And instead of just saying, you know what, you sit and you complain like we normally have, they decided we need content. So they made it content. They made it content so they can sit on their ivory towers of collecting money from their audiences and feel good about what they're doing. They made it content so they can sit here and say, I'm the left and you aren't. Black people aren't a part of the left because they won't let us be a part of the left. Look at how they treat FD. Look at how they treat Kidology. Look at how they treat every single black streamer that steps out of line versus how they treat unironic fucking Nazis. Say what you want about any of these people. Say what you want about FD. Say what you want about Endless. Say what you want about Joe Lewis. Say what you want about Kidology. Say what you want about fucking Professor Flowers. Say what you want about any of these people. Are they unironically worse than the actual fucking Nazis these people are willing to platform day after day because their audience likes feeling morally superior? Why aren't you willing to have a conversation with a marginalized group, a part of your society that you feel 100% beholden to talk about, but not talk to? That's the end of my rant. God bless you. I'm the pyro fucking tyrant.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you, big dog.
Jesus
always.
Christ. I had to say that. Someone clip that shit and send it to me because, like, Jesus fucking Christ. I think that was the straw for me. I think that was the straw. I had a fucking Twitter beef. I think that was the straw for me where I explained it. We give you the free education and you still aren't happy because you're not at the forefront.
Yeah.
You're not at the one at the big table leaving King Richard's army or whatever the fuck. Sorry, the reason leftists keep failing, the reason we keep getting steamrolled by conservatives, it's not because our messaging is bad. It's because at the end of the day, conservatives know how to shut the fuck up and get along, and leftists can't do that. Black people say something and white leftists say shut the fuck up. And we won't. We won't. I'm sorry to tell you, we had a whole civil war, Jim Crow civil rights. We're not going to shut the fuck up.
Dog.
So get used to it.
Dog, fam. Also, it's after midnight, but happy belated birthday to Huey P. Newton. But he was asked, what if white people want to join the Black Panthers? He dead ass said, just make the white Panthers. And they did. They did. That's what the fuck happened. Like,
if you want help creating your terms, that is fine. What you don't need to do, and I've seen this response time and time again in this Discord on Twitter, is like, it's just a good phrase. We know. That's why we made it for ourselves. Because it's good and catchy. Black Lives Matter. We know it's a good phrase. That's why we have, cop lives matter, all lives matter. We know it's good. That's why we said it, because it gets stuck in the fucking head. I'm legit upset about this because it's the same discourse and we're seeing it in 4K in the time of streamers of all of the leftist communities just erasing black people. It's wild to me how we just let that shit go for so long. And then like we just Jesse what the fuck is her name? She's on
Jesse,
Twitter.
Jessica Gender or whatever.
Yeah, she's on
I
Twitter,
haven't
and like
I haven't
Jesse
seen that.
Gender,
I don't know who that
like
person
Jesse
is.
Gender. I'm subscribed on her on YouTube. She puts out really wonderful video essays, and I'm gonna spit it out here now. So if you feeling step away. But she got put on blast by Vosh and his community, and then all
Oh,
the
of
triple dick
course.
leftists following him because he felt that he should be at the forefront of this conversation. He felt that he needed to make the video, and it's fucking abhorrent when all she said is, "I've listened to black people," but nope, because it doesn't agree with their brand of leftism, where they just get to sit and rake in money while we still struggle, while like people just die. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, and you're just virtue signaling. And now we've run someone who is a really good influence for the fucking LGBT community, encompassing both black and white, bringing these two sides together. She's going off of Twitter now, and I don't fucking blame her because it's a hellhole. It's a
Yeah.
hellhole where these people just get off on making themselves feel morally superior.
Uh-oh.
Congratulations, you read the book. Do you understand it?
We got Bink Princess in here. Bink in here.
Damn, y'all. We over here cooking. The cookout
Cooking.
really full.
It's not even cooking.
full,
It's not
y'all.
even cook. It's not even cooking. It's not even kiki time. It's just what's happening.
Right.
It's real life. Nothing I've
Yeah.
said is untrue. Nothing I've said is a dig at these people. They're just doing it. I believe Vosh can be a good leftist. I believe all these people can be good leftists. Stop fucking doing this shit when black people say, yo, maybe this isn't the way. Stop going on stream and just berating people and have them on.
That's the
And
craziest
don't do
part.
the bullshit where you
Yeah.
equate them to fucking Nazis.
And that's
you're a Nazi.
because that's the craziest part for me too, is the fact that, like you said, we will go out of our fucking way in some instances to give y'all free chicken. We will provide you with the education. Say, look, you're fucking up. You should clean this shit up, and here's how you do it. And your response to that is, why are you dividing the left? You're clearly a fucking right winger disguising yourself as a leftist just to divide the left on some psyop shit,
Yeah.
clout chasing, whatever shit that we have to throw out because white people are literally fucking allergic to accountability. You know what I mean?
All right, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all because this is something that's really aggravating, and people acting like this shit's not happening for real. I'm gonna tell y'all, people have the tendency
Thanks for the like.
of erasing black women and black queer women off of the fact that we had adequacy in the first place. And I'm gonna tell you why this pisses me off. I'm gonna tell you what. You guys already, and I'm gonna be on some deep time. So trigger warning, everybody. If y'all not here for the deep shit, y'all need to dip right now. Okay. One of the things that I constantly talk about, and we already know, because you're talking about medical apartheid right now. You finna do that shit tomorrow, right? Is about
I'll hop out and let Bink spit.
constant. All right,
All right.
Pyro.
Thanks, Pyro.
It's good. Yeah, no, it's good. I just had to get that out because people don't understand it. Y'all spit. Y'all spit. I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, is the constant assault of black women and black queer people that nobody talks about. And I'm gonna tell you why this genuinely pisses me the fuck off. Ask me who started Me Too.
Oh, you know I know.
I asked, ayo chat, who started Me Too? Ayo chat, who started resources for women who were sexually abused?
And I'm gonna say
did
this. I'm just gonna throw, because I saw somebody say this goofy shit to Aston in one of Aston's replies. Where somebody was like, "So by this logic, are you saying that men shouldn't have used the Me Too hashtag either?" And it's like, dog, you, why are you like this? You know what I'm saying? You do the thing literally every time that we're specifically talking about, without an ounce of irony or self-awareness. It's like the X-Men power, you feel me? I was just telling my fucking roommate about this. Like, I want to turn this X-Men power that I have to make white people say racist shit off. I want to turn this shit off so bad, yo. But I'm like Cyclops. The beams just keep fucking coming out of my eyes no matter what I do, yo. I just keep waking up to more racist shit on my fucking Twitter feed.
I'm still on that though. Like, who started Me Too, y'all?
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Who started Me Too? Because it was not no goddamn white woman when it came on to Epstein. No, it was not. I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was not. That's not where that come from.
To
That's
run a
not where that
bird.
come from, babes. That's not where that come from. And then this is what aggravates me too. There is a lot of there's a lot of literature, Black liberation literature, that was created by a Black woman, that is either two things happen. It's either one thing where it is you completely erase the fact that it fucking exists, or two, you say it exists but you mischaracterize it. Exhibit A, intersectionality. Please, white people, I'm saying this. Please, the whites in chat, please, the whites people, okay? Please stop using intersectionality and don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because this whole discourse
yo,
was pure
please.
gaslighting. Pure gaslighting. Pure gaslighting the whole entire time, the whole 9 to 5, every single fucking day with this fucking discourse. Because every single time we brung up, hey yo, not gonna lie, Black queer people exist. Your first response is, well, you're not actually doing intersectionality. You're not
Why are you
actually
making
doing
it about race? Why are you making it about race?
So what you're telling me is that you don't even know your own people, A. Keep it a band. Keep it a band. You don't even know your own people for real.
Don't even know your own history.
You don't even know about your own history. And then this is the thing, because I'm not even gonna call names, but you know whose stream I went on, whose stream we was peeping the other day. You already know. And they over here, when the whole shark shit happened, you already know who was reviewing that shit and we was peeping in chat.
Oh yeah.
We already know. And
Hey,
guess what?
happy Black History. I know he doesn't really think about it as much or doesn't really care, but happy Black History Month to Shark 300. We love you, nigga. We'll save you eventually.
It's really funny how there's a lot of white trans people who only care about Black history when they can get from it, and then don't actually take that shit seriously for real. How the fuck are you gonna say I'm trans woman, I'm trans people, but when we say I'm Black people, then you saying, oh, that's too much, that's yikesy? You saying we trying to do some
Thanks for
fucking
the
overthrow
follow.
the government shit? That's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty raw. That's pretty crazy. I'm gonna give you another hashtag that got co-opted. Y'all ready? Art Ho. Art Ho was about Black women.
Mm-hmm.
It was about Black women. Art Ho was originally about Black women. It was about it was the equivalent of Black girl magic. That was Black girl magic before Black girl magic existed.
Right.
We literally had to put Black girl magic. We had to put our race in it in order for y'all not to co-opt the shit, because y'all love doing that bullshit. And then on top of that, hold on, because I'm cooking the fuck out of y'all, bro. I'm mad as fuck. On top of that, guess what happened? We can't even have Black girl magic for real. Ask me why. Ask me why.
Why, Bink?
Because everybody doing blackfishing now. We can't even tell if we can't even tell if the white girls are the white girls no more, because y'all want to be racially ambiguous. Now y'all want to get curly hair and tan y'all skin and be like, it's Black girl magic now. Because guess who did that? Guess one of y'all favorite faves who did that? Kylie Jenner. Y'all favorite faves. So let's not act like this isn't a repetitive pattern that y'all love to play. Because what y'all like to do, and I'm gonna read y'all. This is how the game goes. What happened is that Black people are the blueprint, which is, there's nothing wrong with us being a role player. There's nothing wrong. You feel me? Nothing wrong with coming first. We Gucci on that. We don't care. The issue is that instead of it be, we build solidarity with one another and have genuine solidarity. Your solidarity begins and ends at what I can take from Black people. That's it.
At the comfort, you know what I'm saying? The comfort zone.
Exactly. That is it. That it is it. How are you going to say that Black queer people were not calling you out on your bullshit when literally majority of your replies are Black queer people who followed you? Make it make sense. Who the fuck are your fucking retweets? Who the fuck is speaking out for real? Because I'm sorry, I already said this on my Twitter. It's majority queer people, Black queer people that's on my timeline. So
I mean, y'all see my timeline.
I just wanted to say that, because that shit really pisses me off for real. Y'all really, we can't, and then run this back, because let's do the bigger picture type beat. Let me preach. Because I'm not cooking no more. I'm preaching now. So this is something that's an issue that I'm gonna speak to, and this can be applied to anybody. Okay. So buckle up. People do not take Black queer issues nor Black woman issues seriously at all. within and outside of the community. And it's fucking triggering as fuck. And the reason why I say this is that our issues are watered down to cultural and social shit when that's not what the fuck it is.
It's structural.
We're just actually multi-layered with our advocacy because we have to. We have to. We do not get any type of privilege that black men do. Sorry. Black men get patriarchal privilege.
That's correct, though. You're right.
So it's extremely aggravating that what's going on, because this is how I see it, because every action equals a bigger picture. Okay? What aggravates me is that black women and black queer people cannot, we can't even talk about our serious shit because that shit get co-opted. All of this shit where y'all like to be like, oh well, Black Lives Matter, police brutality. We can't even have a serious conversation for real because that specific part of our oppression is co-opted, which waters down what the fuck our struggle is and leads everyone to believe that our struggle is just, oh well, you're insecure, you don't like your hair, you could call the N-word. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. That's just
and
not how
that
it
right
works.
there, that's still to like honestly still some of the wildest shit I've ever heard Vosh say. Was when he was talking about how it's actually good when we fetishize black women because that means that the beauty standards in America are changing. That shit took me someplace completely different.
Do I have permission to be a toxic mod today?
Go for it.
I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood.
Damn.
I'm not in the mood. Sit down. Take all the fucking seats. Because both of y'all work in fucking conjunction. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about this whole fucking little white woman have oppression because they're white. I don't give a fuck. I generally do not give a fuck. Both of y'all like to be in cahoots when it's time and ready.
I was gonna say from my perspective, just kind of scoping the scene, is that we like during the pandemic when we saw that wild ass Karen shit, and we saw white women take after they co-opted the Me Too movement with fucking the Weinstein shit and the Epstein shit. You feel me? When they had garnered all this like political fervor, and then all them videos came out of like white women calling the police on black men for no reason and shit. White women took a major fucking L in 2020. And I feel like this is going to be that moment now where like, the white trans community takes that same fucking L. You know what I mean?
No, they've been taking that L if I'm gonna keep it 1,000%.
I mean, you're right.
Because this is the thing. I'm gonna tell you exactly why this popped off for real. And y'all gonna get mad, but I don't give a fuck, hate me. So this really blew up for real because what happened is that okay, I'm gonna read your shit real, but I'm gonna say my statement real quick. What happened is that this is how niggas move. Okay, this is how observant people move. We peep your shit and mind our goddamn fucking business. And when it's time for your ass to cook, you will be scorched. That's exactly what happened. So the black queer community and the black communities as a whole, if I'm gonna keep it a band, been peeping that white trans people be acting extremely very suspect. Okay, we've been peeping that. We've been peeping the microaggressions. We've been peeping the opportunism. We've been peeping something we called white people syndrome. White people shit. Keep it a band. White privilege, colonizer energy. Yes, I'm pulling out all of this shit out the bag. That's what we've been peeping from white trans people. And this whole entire thing of trying to co-opt the whole shit is when the straw broke the camel's back. Everybody say, yeah, y'all doing a lot. A lot. That's exactly why this shit blew up all over fucking Twitter. Because if I'm gonna keep it a band, this shit would have blew up regardless of Twitch or not. Because we peep y'all fucking behavior.
I've been peep game, yep.
Hey, Aston.
Hey,
What up,
and
Aston?
I want to start off this. I want to start off this conversation with first, let's abolish all men.
I'm gonna say
Please.
abolish gender, but
Abolish gender makes sense. Abolish gender makes sense. I want to point something out to let's just say our non-melanated audience out there that may
I'm
have had a
weak.
little milk wash version of history. Okay. Do you know when y'all started appropriating liberation language? Do you know who the first group to do that was? Was the white supremacists in the late 1800s.
I was
Why do
gonna
you
say,
think that
wasn't that the Klan?
white Nazis sound like black people sometimes? They start peeping all of our issues. Oh, they're trying to replace us. They're trying to breed us. They're trying to It's because they took the writings of us and they talked about it too. Go read up on the history of the what's the fucking the whatever the first movie, the KKK movie, and how they
Birth of a
Birth of a
Nation.
abused all
Nation.
the yeah. And it's never stopped. And I want you to know that you know who's talked about this? MLK's talked about this. The Panthers have talked about this. Hooks talked about this. Fuck, Crenshaw created intersectionality to talk about this.
Come
But
on now.
y'all want to sit up and act like you're brand new every fucking generation because a new set of white folk turned 18 and became politically active and want to think that they're brand new and that this is the first time we've
No,
ever had this
no, no,
motherfucker.
Aston, Aston, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. No, you see,
Correct
they
me.
they only said they only said the one thing. Martin Luther King only said the one quote. He didn't talk about the vast history of black. No, no, they only said the one quote, and Vosh discovered it, not
Yeah,
black people.
that's so true. I guess when we keep saying the thing about how you should keep a hashtag, it doesn't line up at all with that thing that King said about giving a man his due, and that to make amends, sometimes you will have to give certain groups special attention. Weird.
It's almost like, wait, hold on, wait. Just wait. It's almost like we've been having theory in the community. We just don't use academic language because we don't have to. It's almost like intersectionality been a thing. It's almost like y'all don't pay attention. It's almost like we know what the fuck we're talking about.
But
Damn, that's
meanwhile, let me run it back. Remember earlier this year when we had to deal with the one the ye Hitler Blitler discourse, and remember how we
Oh,
said
the
back
Adolf
then
shit.
Yadolf
the
Blitler,
reason
yeah.
the reason why we cannot stand it when y'all do the Blitler stuff is because as soon as a black person says something transgressive about race, you will once again turn around and turn black liberational thinkers into Nazis. And what was the first fucking thing they said to me?
You're a
It sounds like I'm talking to you
Yo,
right now.
I'm sorry.
Y'all are the real racists.
I'm gonna name drop just because this shit is still has me like I'll think about it when I'm in bed at night and it keeps me up because I'll just start geeking. Yo, when fucking Gayfesh tried to fucking do that shit where it's like, wow, this tweet aged like fine milk. When I was saying like, yo, can we maybe not call Yay Hitler? Like,
Mm,
first of all, it's disrespectful to Jewish people.
mm.
Yo, what up, Nabil? Shout out to Nabil in chat. But
yeah. Shout out to Nabil.
but also, black people got clapped by the Nazis. Hitler hated black people so much he specifically wrote about us in fucking Mein Kampf, dog. They had a whole name for us and everything. They called us Rhineland bastards because of the African soldiers that came and made babies after World War One. They were getting bunnied up in Germany. You know what I mean? Like, they were mad as fuck. They were mad as fuck. So when you're calling Kanye a fucking Nazi just because you have this 6th grade fucking baby brain understanding of the world and history, where like Nazis, Jews, duh. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that because you are showing your ass. You showing that you have a very fucking poor understanding of history and these nuanced issues.
Well,
And then I read the fucking the James Baldwin, what he wrote about the interactions between the Jewish community and the black community in the 60s. And then lo and behold, not even like a fucking month later, we have Gay Fesh Capon when we have fucking Keffels, the most prominent white trans streamer on the platform, let's not get it twisted, talking about how I didn't know it was Black History Month. I didn't know Canada had Black History Month. I'm not in school, so I don't know. I don't like go outside and see decorations for Black History Month or any of that shit ever. You know what I mean? I just have never, and what she was really saying is I've never needed to care about that. So why would I? Right? And this nigga Gayfish is really going to cape talking about, well, guys, there's just not as many black people in Canada. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not like she lives on planet Earth or something, and there's not like there's been a long historic disenfranchisement of black people in Canada. But what I really wanna get at is the speed run that y'all do. By the way, when we bring up that this topic is erasing black voices, that specifically by the way, if y'all haven't understood what this conversation is yet, it's white privilege. We're talking about white privilege. White privilege is when you talk, everybody listens. That's why y'all need to be careful about talking over marginalized voices. But we keep saying it erases black voices, and I find it interesting because in this speed run, I've been told that Say Her Name was for Indigenous women, which it can be for Indigenous women, but they didn't come up with it. I've been told that it was created for the rape of a white woman. I've been told every false origin of this thing, and y'all don't see why maybe when you guys co-opt our shit that it erases the history behind it.
I'll tell you
Thanks, Free
exactly
Scholar.
I'll tell you exactly what the problem is, Aston. And like the little bit of a tiny little smidgen of a grain of truth people have when they talk about the actual origin, it's because of the old philosophical argument, nothing is original. So yes, you're going to go and run into terms of, just good ideas because again, they're good ideas for a reason. So like Say Her Name was used several instances in the past, but never to the amount where, we had that whole movement and it's still being used. That's the issue that people seem to be missing. It's like trying to figure out who invented like the modern road or some shit. Well, everyone had the equivalent of a road because no one's fucking original. But then we talk about pavement and we talk about specifics, and it gets really clear, like, the Romans had really good road systems and shit, and that that's what we all like to talk. So, like, we can break down historical topics like that, but we can't do it for language and etymology when in reality it's very fucking easy to do. Yes, we can acknowledge that some groups may have used this, but the main popularity, the main reason it is a social movement in 2023, the year of our Lord and Savior, is because of Sandra Bland. Is because of these fucking murders that
hold up, stop, wait a minute. Comrade Pesci said, "Damn, no wonder why no one ever respects black women, even when they're way more privileged than black men." I gotta hold up.
What you mean by that, home?
No. Wait, because you know how I deal with these people. Comrade Pesci, have you heard of? Are you familiar with the first black Supreme Court justice in America?
No, he ain't.
No. Ask him. Let him cook. What's the first?
I'm gonna let him answer before I deal with him. Comrade Pesci, who was the first black Supreme Court justice in America?
Nah. We not with that sarcastic shit right now. We for real. Don't play. We don't play this shit right now.
Yeah, I don't think they're being sarcastic.
Wow, your surrender
they're real. Yeah, they're real quiet
You're
now.
banned.
Yeah, he's real fucking
banned.
quiet now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Your explanation period has expired.
Right. You were real talkative before. You were real fucking talkative before. Now you want to be quiet when you have the floor.
The account was created the 7th of February. Okay, babes. Whatever you say.
But so this whole thing though has been the biggest, most massive self-report ever, because I will be the first person to tell you I grew up in homophobia. I grew up in misogyny. These are things I unpicked for myself.
We're American.
Right. But
I feel like all of us except Bink had a very similar background. We grew up surrounded by white people, going to white schools, white friends, etc., etc., etc.
Right. And
yeah, I ain't had to find milk shit, y'all.
what I had to do to get rid of homophobia, and what we've all done, is we started listening to black queer thinkers and black voices, right? So
Can I just
what's
add an
interesting
addendum
is if
onto
you
that?
listen to black queer voices for more than 5 seconds, you will hear them talk about black erasure.
For
Can I
me,
add an
So
addendum? Can I
I'll,
add an
you're just
addendum for that
self-reporting
second?
to me that you don't listen to black queer people.
right, but
Can
go
I can I
ahead.
add on that for? No, I was gonna say like yeah, when we look, because like Aston was making the really good point when we look at like how we have to look and like who we have to turn to, black queer fucking leftists, and I was just gonna make the point like, yeah, no, it's usually the black queers that are the motherfuckers speaking out, like no one else
Right.
really has the guts to. The
Mm.
rest of us, and this is some black shit that no one has the guts to say. We'd rather just keep our head down and like just hustle till we die.
Mm-hmm.
Black
Yep.
queers, no, black
Yep.
queers being on the forefront of this shit since day fucking one. Cause being a gay slave was something else. Let me fucking tell you. If
Being
I
a
could read
trans
some of this
slave,
shit,
like, fuck out
if
of
I
here.
could read some of the shit on stream without getting banned, I would. But like being that type of slave, who them niggas had it the worst. So they understand being on the front lines. They're the niggas speaking up on this, and we don't listen. No one listens. And then we Pikachu face ourselves. But go on, I'm sorry.
Right. No, that's correct though.
No, you hit that point real hard when you talk about what was the first thing that they did when they brought us over here? They destroyed our gender expression and split up our families to make sure that we were in a patriarchal system. The transgender genocide started then
Hold up. Wait a
to
minute.
kill black people.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Bink, what did we talk about last weekend? We weren't even men and women. We were what? Male and female for the purposes
you.
of breeding. Period.
Only, and just real quick, cause I'm gonna say this, and this is what aggravates the living fucking hell out of me, bro. I'm not even 20 yet, bro, and I know way more than these fucking grown ass fucking people that are like 32 on fucking Twitter. This shit's really pissing me the fuck off. Yo, if you can Google intersectionality by Kimberly Crenshaw, her fucking first essay that was published in a journal pops up and is like 8 fucking pages, bro. And it's about what? Well, black women were not considered women because womanhood is only white woman and being black is only black men. So we could not actually get justice in the criminal justice system because you could only be persecuted through, like, not persecuted, you can only get justice through one thing, and either thing was not accessible to black women. What don't y'all understand, bro? Like, y'all need to pick up a fucking book, bro. Like, I'm finna start Bible thumping, bro. I'm starting doom pilling, yo. I'm tired, yo.
This is yeah.
Tired, yo.
I'm gonna just
But
say
you know,
this
we're the
right
real
now.
racists.
I'm 33. Yeah, we're the real. We're dividing the left. This is a psyop.
I'm gonna just say this now because it's apparent. Like I'm needed. Like I'm coming to step. Like I'm doing like a whole fucking shit, starting with like when we first got thrown under the bus, and it's like when we were actually like freed and shit, and it's like. My reconstruction streams are starting tomorrow at 2 because people don't understand that when black people say we have been thrown under the bus, we have been thrown under the bus. If you don't believe me, look up the Compromise of 1877 when the motherfucker Rutherford B. Hayes decided to end Reconstruction and all the federal protections for black people went away, and then Jim Crow sprouted up not even a decade fucking
The black
later
codes and
because
shit.
this nigga wanted to sit in a fancy chair. That's why black people are a trapped electorate. That's why we're in the position. That's why Jim Crow happened, because Rutherford B. Hayes wanted to sit in a fucking chair.
You know what's
no
funny is, ironically, that's the corrupt compromise. That was the Civil Rights Act. By the way, the same one that the reason why they called it the Civil Rights Act was because they got rid of the KKK because they were shooting up white people and that's the only thing they cared about. Didn't stop them, but how is it going to be a civil war? And they marketed it like it was for black people. Meanwhile, the inside of that corrupt compromise, it was a compromise because the South wouldn't allow Rutherford B. Hayes to be the president of the United States. That's the chair he's talking about. They were seceding again. So he said, "Here, how about this? Y'all can have Jim Crow if you let me be president." They said, "Bet."
That's quite literally and I'm gonna go into this in depth tomorrow. The election of 1876 was between a fucking Democrat and a Republican. If you know United States history, you know the parties were flipped. Party of Lincoln was the Republicans. Exactly. Not even the Dixiecrats. I'm talking early, like when they were just the Democrats.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, it was like you got
and also because it's when we say the parties are flipped, that's a misnomer. That's kind of, it gets lost in translation just how fucking racist the entire country was at the time too, because Abraham Lincoln was literally a member of the American Colonization Society. We have all the quotes of him talking about the Negro, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But he was literally one of the original white ethnostaters. He said, we don't need niggas in America. Pack them on the boat and send them the fuck back to Africa.
I got into a debate earlier where I bunsen some dude because he was unironically trying to like talk about how like the South had a point. And I'm like, no, even in our best fucking hopes and dreams, before the Civil War, that entire fucking century, the North gave too fucking much. In my opinion, as a black man, they gave too many concessions in how you can recapture property, aka actual living, breathing people. How you can go into states and hunt people down and take people,
Dog.
and just because they're black, you can take them. No one.
Harriet Tubman had to reroute the fucking Underground Railroad to Canada behind that shit.
Exactly. So like when we talk about these fucking compromises and shit that happened that led to this shit, no, like, yeah, motherfuckers wanted the white supremacy state. Motherfuckers were unhappy with it. And when white people brought the country back together, and again, we got to keep in mind that wasn't Lincoln's original goal. He didn't want to abolish slavery. He didn't think he had it in the Constitution.
Yes.
When they brought that shit back together, what did they end up doing? They sold us out not even a full ass decade later because they couldn't handle the fucking weight of it. They couldn't handle the responsibility of bringing a marginalized group into the fold without outright exterminating them. Because that's what they did to the natives. They couldn't bring them in either, and they were exterminated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and let me be clear. I want to. You're talking. When we talk about this stuff, like this is, we're not making this up.
It's
This
not
is a
hyperbole.
quote
That's
from
what I mean.
This is August 1865, Gainesville, fucking Florida. There are quite a number of persons who seem to hope that the next Congress will reestablish slavery. Their hopes for the future happiness and prosperity are wrapped up in this idea. That's when they created the vagrancy laws in Florida that would make it so that not only were black people not allowed to be in certain places, not only does that establish the at least one Negro grandparent rule or 1/8 ancestry rule, but white women weren't allowed to live with us or around us. I wonder why they were doing
Straight
that.
up.
I wonder why so many black people in the South were killed.
And then it got to, I'm sorry, Ben, go ahead.
This is like the type of energy that like we talk about when we try to point out people's conception of things, because one thing that like aggravates me personally is that people, I've said this in a tweet, one thing that aggravates me is that people look at history in isolation instead of it be, ayo, all of these things happened at once. All of these
Right.
things were
They're all
completely
connected.
in motion.
All connected.
Yeah, it's well, you know, I mean, it happened this one time and the other time, and like, no, this is a continuous. This is a thing that is happening all at once, and that's the thing when it comes on to history that I think people need to conceptualize, because when we talk about, ayo, not gonna lie, they were very much just doing some evolution type beat when it came on to the fucking laws and shit. People look at us with fucking Pikachu face like, what the fuck does that fucking mean? And it's
Right.
like, bro, be for real. Like 1,000% be for real. The fact that you can't conceptualize the idea shows how fucking bizarre it is.
Right. Just like that with Gainesville, Florida, Baltimore, Maryland. Right after that, they decided, you know what, it's not enough to like separate the black people from the white people. We're going to just designate whole ass areas, whole ass neighborhoods, chop them up and stick the black people in them so that the white people can have everything else. And we still see the fucking effects of that today. The black butterfly and the white L here in Maryland or here in Baltimore, right?
Oh, like we talk about the fucking effects of this shit, and I'm still trying to figure out like, and this is one of my biggest problems and why I'm putting my foot back into this horrible, horrible game is like, we do realize how long ago it was, right? Because it wasn't that long ago. Like my grandmother was a part of
Right.
the like both of the great migrations. It's like,
Yeah, my grandmother
Jesus
was.
fucking, like,
Bro,
and it's like,
oh
My
God.
grandmother was a sharecropper. My grandmother, the reason why my family is not still fucking enslaved in fucking Jackson, Mississippi right now is because her father pulled that toolie on the landlord and said, "You take one step towards my family, I'm blowing your fucking head off." And then they did.
I mean, look, I'm not even gonna talk about shit like that. Like my grandmother was a sharecropper. Like when I say she was a part of the Great Migration, I mean she was a sharecropper until she got married to my grandfather, and they decided to move to Buffalo, New York, where my family has stayed ever since. So like, yeah, there were niggas still on plantations, and that's one of the effects that people don't realize, that after slavery, it didn't just go away. It just became slavery light with sharecropping. It just
It just
became
gets
Exactly.
slavery
slavery
with
light
extra steps.
Actually,
Can
no,
I want to
not
stop
not
that
even
because
not even
because
slavery
where
with
there
extra
was debt
steps.
peonage, there was
No,
debt
I
peonage and there was sharecropping. There was also still chattel slavery.
Yeah,
Mason
hell
that's
Dixon
what
yeah.
I was
Walls
about.
Miller was the
That's what I
last
was
slave
about to
released in
say.
1963.
No, that's what I was about to say before
Oh,
I
my
got
bad.
fucking cut off. Like this shit has lasting effects that people don't realize. From sharecropping to debt peonage, people don't, like you just said, people don't realize that the last fucking slave was released after fucking World War II, because we don't read that far. We read Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves with the Emancipation Proclamation, got shot in his dome, and now he's on the penny. And then we drop the fucking book. We
Niggas don't even know
cover.
about Juneteenth, right? Like,
We
Right?
don't know about
so
Juneteenth. We don't cover Andrew Johnson. We don't cover Ulysses S. Grant. We don't cover Rutherford B. Hayes and Woodrow Wilson. Those four niggas, most influential people on the result of Black history today. And it's because they built a system that we still allow. They built a system of knowledge, in part to Woodrow Wilson, that we still allow and that people still think it's fine to prosper under. Go ahead, Bink. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. I just want to reel it back in a little bit because this is why the topic about Black queer people and Black women holds a very big like dear place in my heart, because I already told y'all I was raised by my mom and my grandma. Like
right.
I was raised by women. Period. My especially that's the majority of people who are in my family is majority women in my family.
My mother's side of
Um
my family is pretty much all women, and my
yeah,
mother raised me.
so I just want to say this, and this is gonna wrap up into when I talked about the whole like conception of like Me Too, where that originated from, and about the erasure of Black women and Black queer people. Okay, and this is gonna talk about this, but I'm gonna geek about it now because I feel like it's just necessary to geek about it because
I
people need
feel
to
it.
like actually listen.
It-
Her name is Joan Little. It
Hmm.
was around, I want to say it was in the 1970s. I want to say early mid 1970s. She was 18 years old, got locked up, went to a men's prison, and they stripped her naked, forced her to be inside of her cell in front of everybody, she's supposed to have two sheets. They took one of her sheets and she had to use the other one as a curtain so that they wouldn't look at her. And one of the guards took an ice pick and forced her to give oral.
Hmm.
And you know what the fuck she did? She stabbed that nigga as she should, and she escaped jail. And guess what happened? The law for the whole fucking Wild Wild West shit of shooting somebody on sight and was still enacted. The whole fugitive law,
A
fugitive,
fugitive.
Fugitive.
Yeah.
yeah, fugitive law was still enacted. So she had no choice but to go back to the police and give herself up. And
Hmm.
guess what happened? Guess who is over here doing way too goddamn fucking much? The whites, of course. Who wouldn't be doing too much? And guess what happened? Because this is the source I'm gonna give you tomorrow, and I'm gonna give some uh little quotes. It was a hair salon, a white hair salon, and they went in there because it's intersectional. It's a Black woman, it's feminist because of assault, and it's racism because she's a black little girl, right? They went to the white hair salon, and you know what they said? They said, Not gonna lie, that was pretty terrible. She should be able to choose who she gets raped by.
Hmm.
The the guard's wife said, "Oh, he doesn't like niggers. He would never put his hand on a nigger. He would never do that."
Mm.
And you know what they also said? They said, "Why are you acting like she's so innocent? Black kids lose their virginity by the age of 7."
Damn.
This is
So
all
when
shit that we talked about that was
Oh,
reading in medical apartheid too, that they said about specifically young black girls.
exactly. So when I say y'all really need to shut the fuck up and listen, I mean that shit. Because to this day, y'all still treat black youth like that, and y'all still treat black queers and black women like that. So let's not fucking play. That shit happened in the 70s. The time y'all say that we was fucking kumbaya and all that other fucking bullshit.
It was actually, that was considered part of race science, where part of the reason to like justify straight up breeding children, making kids fuck so you can make more slave kids, was that, oh, black people are more fecund anyway. They can't help themselves. The men, they're rapacious beasts, and the women are Jezebels. Fucking, so they're out here fucking anyway from like 9 years old, right?
Can I jump in
Right.
on that? Because we're talking about medical apartheid, we're talking about slavery, we're talking about women, and it goes under the fucking radar that gynecology was created by experimenting on black women.
Yep.
Because the idea was that black women can endure pain more. And you know that
Black people.
those plantation owners weren't doctors. They were just having fun down there, hacking everything up, slicing everything up, dicking everything down as much as they please. And that is where gynecology was born. That is where it fucking comes from. So when you talk to us about this shit, by the way, we're talking about the 70s and medical apartheid. Don't forget that the Tuskegee experiment started in 1930 and ended in 1972.
Oh, trust.
So,
Stick
hold
around.
on.
Stick around for the medical
Like, hold
apartheid
on.
streams, because you're very surface level right now. But trust, we went over last stream. We talked about with black people in general, because they used to literally roast niggas, because we have like, and I mean, when I say roast niggas, I mean like they put this nigga in a spit with hot coals underneath of him to see how long he would last, and just feed him shit.
So like, I'm gonna butt in real quick because like I already know how this is gonna be seen. We talking about a specific issue. We gonna keep on that specific issue. All of these are great examples on a simple fact that we know oppression. We're gonna do the oppression Olympics thing that everyone loves to do on Twitter. We know it.
Well,
Congratulations.
come on now.
We
Right.
know it. So like, end of story. Congratulations, we win. But like, to bring it back to this whole psyop shit. Hold on, because I'm just getting started. It's a simple fact that like we can't sit here in this topic about Brianna Gay and the say her name shit and then just go
Shout
off
out to
on the
Joe
list
Lewis.
of times. Yeah, shout out to Joe, bro. Oh, Joe's right.
JoJo,
Yeah, like,
happy Black History Month, my brother from another mother.
Oh, happy birthday
Yo.
too. Today's birthday.
It's his birthday. Birthday boy.
It's his birthday. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday
Birthday
to
to ya.
happy
Oh,
birthday, Joe Lewis. But like, as I was saying, like when we're talking about the Brianna Gay and the fucking murder that she went through, one of the biggest things is like the only people erasing this
It's pretty
are
whack,
the-
Joe.
yeah, the only people erasing this shit are the people who want to focus this on black people. There was just a single
hello.
there was just a single tweet made in the void of Elon Musk's bunghole. And what happened? A bunch of people got into their fifis and said, "No, you're not important." Like, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but like, no, we can go through, and we just did like 30 minutes going through why we're important to this conversation, why we're important. And the problem here, and I'm gonna repeat it again, and I want like, ooh, we gotta harp on this, we gotta negative on this. The psyop here is the fact that white leftists have been caught in 4K not only pushing out black people from the conversation on LGBT issues, but pushing out white allies to black people. Look
Oh,
at Jesse videos. Look at this bitch on Twitter. And if you don't like being called a bitch, I'm sorry, but I'm in my field. Look at this bitch on Twitter. She stood by black people and said, yo, I just listened. I just listened and now I understand. And you got motherfuckers like Vosh and all his fucking sucklings acting like they've won a high point because you got to realize they only view themselves as the left. We're not a part of that. The only people in the left are all 400,000 people who subscribe to Vosh and the people who give him money. That's who they view as the left. When they say they've ruined the left, it's because now they can't talk about black issues. That's what they mean. And that's the psyop. The psyop wasn't some Twitter post. The psyop wasn't some Reddit fucker or some 4chan fucker saying, we're going to make the T words fight and we're going to make the N words fight. No, that's not a fucking psyop.
The psyop was the
psyop
people
is
calling it a
you blowing
psyop.
it up. Exactly. It was the psyop
oh,
we made along the way.
That's it's funny because that's the
just-
title of my stream.
I just
I
want to
said
say something that I think the girls need to pee for real. So if we understand, okay, because I'm finna geek real quick. Hold on. If y'all understand, right, that is very much colonial colonizer energy to
They
want
don't.
to rape, pillage, and get shit in abundance, and do something like we call stealing. It wouldn't it make sense that you're very much doing colonizer energy, thinking that you can dictate what if black queer people are valid or not in the conversation, if they exist or not in the
You're hinting at
conversation.
that.
If
You're hinting at that accountability word, and we don't like that here.
Yeah.
We don't like
White
that.
people are allergic to that.
It's not even accountability, because one thing that I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna call the people out. The people been called out just a while ago, but that whole community, I think it's really funny that there's this idea that white leftists are supposed to call out black people on their bullshit, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
think-
it's
I think that's
we gotta
really,
rein
really
in the deranged black people, the black
uppity
supremacists.
Negro. The uppity Negro
Oh,
alert.
you guys know what that is, right? Because I feel it's quite literally what y'all just said. It's them subconsciously being like, "Hey, good ones, rein in the bad ones. You have
Yeah.
to answer
Oh
for
yeah.
all of the bad ones." Meanwhile, we see what happens, right? Like whenever they
Yeah.
try and be like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah.
you guys have been running this country into the ground for like the last 200 years." No, we can't hold all white people accountable for that.
That shit
But
is
we
the
gotta hold
modern.
all black people accountable
Yeah.
for like gang violence in big cities where gang violence typically happens. Looking at you, Al Capone. But we glorify Al Capone. He's great. We love the Al Capone, like that type of shit. But nah, gang violence is a problem.
Right. It's the modern day fucking meritorious manumission. You know what I mean? If you come on here and call all these other people fucking Blitler and all that shit, we might sprinkle some fucking views on you. You know what I mean? We might make you partner. You feel me? Like it's
Can I just here's a white person's guide to being an ally and being anti-racist. Step one.
Shut the fuck up.
that
Step
is
two.
literally the first step.
Amen.
That is literally
Amen.
the first step. Shut the fuck up.
Step two. If something a black person says makes you want to say, but you're being racist,
Shut the fuck up. See rule 1.
Take 2 seconds and examine, look deep within yourself. And first of all, understand that you are a bitch. But then second of all, understand where that comes from. Why do I feel that way? Why is this my initial reaction?
Step three. If somebody says something and your first inclination is to say, you must be a black supremacist, go see step 1 again.
Shut the fuck, and I cannot stress this enough, up.
No,
all the way. 100%.
I'm gonna just say one thing and then I'll let you go, Bink. The thesis of this commandment tablet that we have crafted is quite simple. To put it in more good faith terms, so like the fifis don't get hurt. When you go and talk about issues that you don't fully understand about a marginalized people, it is always beneficial to sit your ass at the back of that fucking room, eat your chips, and listen and nod to what the motherfuckers are saying because they know 10 times more than you do. So again, let's say rule number 1, shut the fuck
So this is it's so wild to me because people like to read but don't like to soak up knowledge. People like to listen, like people like to hear people talk but don't like to listen and comprehend what's going
Hmm.
on. That's the thing that aggravates me, and I'm pretty sure people are not taking notes, which you should if I'm keeping it a band. Let me explain to you what the fuck white supremacy is, and this is what aggravates me because people have a conception of white supremacy just being, well, whites are the good ones, and that's it. Like that's what white supremacy is when that's not what the fuck it is. You are actively participating and white supremacy. If you're a bigot, if I'm keeping the band, any type of bigotry, you high key participating in white supremacy. But I digress, right? If your thought process aligns on any of the following, you are actively being a racist and high key onto white supremacist time. If the Jezebel stereotype is 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 uh, is indicated, yes, you're being a racist. The mammy stereotype, you're being a racist. The brute stereotype, you're being a racist. The Nat Turner stereotype, which is the whole, well, you're being a black supremacist or black Nazi X, Y, and Z. That means you're being a racist. You sit here doing any stereotype, any anti-black stereotype that is literally um called upon inside of your thought process, you're quite literally by default, babes, being 1,000,000,000,000,000,000% racist. And I need people to understand that. So stereotypes, A, and then B, that white people are automatically the victim, and then
Mm.
C is that how do I explain this?
I
It's
think it's
that you're
motherfuckers don't understand that impact matters way more than intent. I don't give a fuck how many flags you
Yes,
got in your
sir.
fucking bio. If your politics can literally be reduced to black people shut the fuck up, you're racist, dog.
It's just like Bink
So,
said with the white supremacy. Motherfuckers don't understand white supremacy, and they don't understand it because they're the default. When you're the default in life, in reality, you're just the default. When you imagine imagine a doctor, you're imagining a white man. I guarantee it that
true.
37%. You're imagining a white man when I say that. Imagine a teacher, you're imagining a
Because
white
that's what
woman.
whiteness is
It's
absence
the
of race.
default. It's the default. And that's what people fail to realize when they try and do their intersectional analysis because they want to set themselves outside
Oh no.
oh, we lost him.
Oh no, he's
Yo, let me
on the moral
let me.
high ground of yeah,
Oh,
white
there,
lens that only you like. Oh, I'm cooking.
yeah, your shit was cooked
I'm
for a
back.
minute. You're back now
Oh,
though, I think. I hope. Yeah, you were
oh,
doing
well,
a
I'll let y'all
robot for a
go.
split second.
I'll let y'all go and let this shit cool down. I'm getting pyroed. I'm heating the computer up too much.
The mic is getting too hot.
Yeah, like
look, can I just explain, because I think a lot of people struggle with this conceptualization of racism, which, by the way, I want you to know that if you do not agree with how we're conceptualizing racism, you would literally be marching against MLK. Okay,
no,
like
they
Oh,
wouldn't, Asin.
this
No, they wouldn't. I need to correct that. They wouldn't. Because the very thing MLK had behind him was white suburbanites. When the moment he started marching in their communities, they threw bricks. They would have marched right alongside MLK and then punched him in the fucking face when he started
right.
talking about their communities.
Yep.
They're not the niggas who are strong enough in their moral beliefs to just be like, we don't like you in the first place. They're the motherfuckers to lay snake and then be like, well, no, our communities are fine. I'm sorry, I just had to correct you there.
We're different from the other white people.
No. We're the good white people, and what they want to do is they want to listen. We're anti-racist until you make us look at ourselves, right? And the biggest thing there is you need to understand that racism is heuristics and biases. Go look those words up in psychology if you really want to understand, if you really want to do a deep dive. But have you ever noticed that when you're in a bad mood or you're sad, all of your thoughts are sad. Like you literally can't come up with on like happy solutions for things. Yet the same thing exists for fucking racism. So when you can't think outside of the box, like when you don't realize that saying reverse racist or real racist or or black nationalist are all the same thing of just telling the black person to shut up, and you're using different words to say it's a bias, bro. And that's what we're telling you to unpick. Get some
Right.
fucking therapy. Open a book. A racism without racist. Great place to start.
We're literally saying
Shock.
that like you've spent your whole life either through your surroundings and things that you've implicitly learned that you didn't even know you were learning, developing the impulse to step to the other side of the elevator, to roll your windows up and lock your doors when you move through the hood, right? You've been spending your whole life developing those impulses, right? And that shit doesn't go away because you watched Vosh shit on Nick Fuentes, beloved. I'm sorry.
Please
It doesn't.
get your sloppy seconds here real quick, Endless. Let me get them.
Go.
Cool. Because Endless hits on something that is really good, and I want to elucidate. I want to peel back and explain it to people like they're 5, because we know niggas ain't gonna understand him. They're gonna just paint him as Blitler. They're gonna be like, yo, that's lit Yadolf Blitler up there with the look at him sitting there with
the Blared Reich
chair. Yeah, the Holocaust has happened. That's what they're gonna do to you. So to break what Endless said down for children, every action that we have built up as acceptable society is built up in the lens of white supremacy. The way you're supposed to act, the way you're supposed to dress, the way you're supposed to look, the way you're supposed to be nice and even and straight and symmetrical has been built up through centuries and centuries and centuries of white supremacy. So even the tiny little bit of black culture we have been allowed, and that has been allowed to proliferate through the world, has been filtered through white supremacy. That's why when people talk about gang rap music, we have to say no, because we know there are rappers that are out there that don't spit that shit, but the ones that always make the charts because a lot of white people like seeing that image of the black community are the fucking gangsters. They like that image of us.
Vince Staples says that
good image.
Our number one export is our pain, yo. That's the one thing that we have that's always for sale for these people is our fucking suffering, yo.
Just real quick,
Black women speak first.
On Black History Month, yeah. So what happened is I just want to touch on this because this really hit me for real through all this bullshit. Bro, black fatigue is so real, bro. It's so aggravating that it's so real, bro. And that's what aggravates the living fucking hell out of me, yo. We can't even have our month for us to be celebrated, period. We have to we can't be cherished.
Yo, all this fuckery is happening on Black History Month, yo.
Yo, it's the night of the Confederates. They saw the full moon of Black History Month and said, "The South will rise again." I swear to fucking God.
No, like it's aggravating because how do I say this? Let's put it this way.
Because niggas can't have shit.
It's not even niggas can't have shit. We have to explain ourselves over and 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 over again because niggas decide they don't want to listen. And then when their ass get traumatized, we're the quote unquote ones to go to. Can we please stop with that? Because honestly, that's the thing that aggravates me with the whole black fatigue for the most part is the fact that someone has a similar or parallel oppression, but then they want to be anti-black. That's the thing that pisses me the fuck off.
Motherfuckers don't understand that solidarity does not mean free labor from black people. It means solidarity.
When we say free labor, when you ask us to educate you, that's fucking labor. Y'all thought slavery ended back in 1865. Meanwhile, every fucking time something comes around, you expect a black person to put in the work to fucking do it for you. We have to break it down. Oh, our word's not great. Why don't we come up with a whole intersectional theory? Is that better now that we have academic? Oh, you still don't fucking get it? Why don't we put it in music? Why don't we put it in art? Why don't we put it everywhere so that you can? Oh, is that not enough? It's so bad that you need to hijack our awareness campaign because our black women can't stop being catchy.
Right. I'm gonna throw this out real quick and I'm gonna let you go, Pyro. The fact that, because I was just thinking about this too, the fact that we watch a lot of these same streamers just straight throw out the R slur. They're just dropping R words or dropping straight up hard R nigger words, right? And we're not supposed to assume a single fucking thing about them. It's all totally ironic. It's jokes. It's whatever. But we gotta qualify and qualify and qualify and qualify and qualify all of our shit, or else we're Blitler.
So, I'm going to elucidate, and it's a feeling that Bink just expressed, that Aston just expressed, that Endless just expressed. So, like this, I'm not educating them, but like, I think it just, again, this is why I'm here around, because like I like to just say shit in Barney style for y'all motherfuckers. We don't get the privilege of fatigue. Black fatigue, we just don't get it, because when you're fatigued, you go to sleep, you rest, and we don't get that. It's a constant barrage of explain yourself. It's a constant barrage of fit into the mold. It's a constant barrage of the fucking lens being put on you for whatever fucking reason. And black people, marginalized people in America, we just don't have that right of fatigue. And that's where the anger comes from, at least from me. That's why I'm so angry. That's why when I
Same.
snap at people,
Same.
I snap at people, and I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I might say some shit that is low-key kind of fucking racist if you switch the words around. It's because after hearing my grandmother hear about her explanations of it, my mother living through the shit where they had to desegregate the schools.
My
and
mom
having
went
to
through a
explain that
desegregated
shit,
school.
my daddy being an albino nigga who still had to deal with the same shit, ironically, because you can just tell what a nigga looks like by the facial features, apparently.
It's a
Like,
class.
no, niggas are tired. We're fucking tired, and we don't get the rest. Our allies won't step up and let us get the rest. And the small ones that do get beat the fuck down with the club.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
And this
Jesse
is
Jenker.
what
I'm
we
sorry
say.
that happened to you. I really am.
And this is
That's
what we say
happened
by
to you.
fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's like we already deal with that. And imagine being black and neurodivergent, or black
One
and
more
trans,
thing.
or black and queer, or a black woman. You know what I mean? Like, this is what the
One
fuck
more
we're
thing,
talking
and then
about.
I'll let y'all spit. The reason black people are kind of in this weird position where it seems like we don't get along with anyone is because a lot of the movements and shit that have been able to, actually advance have been able to do so because they've made, and this is the really hard part to swallow, the hard pill for even black people to swallow. It's a hard kneecap linking yourself with black people. You are better off doing your social movements, doing whatever fucking bullshit you want, and ignoring black people. The moment you have us on, no one really gives a fuck. And that's just the unfortunate truth. That's why we've been left behind so many times, because people have realized that in their heads.
Yeah, so I just want to speak on something real quick because
It's never going to work, though. Go ahead, Bing.
I'm the youngest of everyone on this panel, so it's a little bit different. It's aggravating because let's put it this way. I'm a person where I want to do education. That's my thing. I want to do education. I keep saying I want to do education. That's what I look forward to doing because I think it's something that's extremely important. We can't even get our own history and uplift our figures because the figures people want to uplift is whitewashed.
That's why Carter G.
There's
Woodson made Negro History Week that became Black History Month. Shout out to Carter G. Woodson. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like it's aggravating because even the act of educating people can leave you extremely exhausted. Even people within my own community where I have to explain Black women's struggles or Black queer people's struggles.
And this is people who are receptive. This is what I'm saying too. People who are actually receptive. It's even more right. It's even more exhausting when you got to fucking fight a nigga to explain basic ass shit. It's everything's got to be a fucking debate.
The people who tell us that we're supposed to feel comfortable and safe around them, but we need to explain basic humanity. Spit it off, Bink. Spit it off.
It's aggravating. It's frustrating. Like I already told you guys, I had like an economics class that was more social based when explaining things. And this is I'm gonna call the people out. A lot of white queers are racist, period. Sorry, there's a hierarchy in the queer community. There is. Sorry, deal with it. Grow up. Put your big panties on. I don't care.
Anyway, I've seen Grindr. I've seen the shit that says no blacks, no Asians. You feel me? Like
I just want to say this real quick because this is what really aggravates me. And I said this and I posted this on fucking Twitter. And y'all need to sit down and open your ears for this for real. Okay? If the black community is so bigoted, why do people who have multiple intersections in the black community always pick the black community over everybody else? Explain to me. Please explain to me. I'm pondering. I'm waiting for the answer because obviously you guys do not understand what the fuck is going on. It's a thing, and I brought up my economics class, right? I was in a class and they were talking about trans people, and they were, talking. They were like, "Why are you guys overacting, whatever?" And I'm like, well, I mean, it's just similar how we're traumatized as black people, and they say racist shit. We're like, damn, what the fuck? And the same thing with like misgendering people. Like, why the fuck would you do that, bro? It's basic respect, right? So, you know what they also said? You know what they also said? They said, I don't really like LGBT community because it's just racist white people. Tell me why that's their as a class that is all black people, because I went to a predominantly black school. Why the fuck is that their conception of the queer community? Explain to me, because people keep acting like you have an intersection, that means you're an ally, and that's not the fucking case. Be fucking for real. How the fuck am I supposed to educate somebody that doesn't want to fucking listen?
Doesn't have to listen. Just don't have to. Straight up.
Can I jump in?
And that's where just real quick, that's where the fatigue comes in, because I can't even talk about how we interact with academia different than we interact with actual people and their lived experience. I can't even talk about how academic language isn't even really needed for real. Y'all are just actively overreacting and participating in white supremacy. I can't say that because that's anti-intellectual. I can't be upfront and talk about how and this is actually I commented on a tweet. I was so proud of that tweet. I got 2K likes on that tweet. Yeah. But what happened is that I can't even talk about how black people are not even allowed to have a gender expression for real. If I'm gonna keep it 1,000%,
I was gonna say,
I can't even talk about that because instead of people understand that people's race is in the forefront in America, you cloud your shit in your intersection and the fact that you have privilege, and it's fucking annoying, bro. Educating people is one of the most thing that gets the most fucking fatigue. And when we say, hey yo, fuck you, go read a fucking book, that's when y'all want to get all up in arms like it's our job, like you're obligated to our fucking time, like we're something that you're supposed to be looking forward to, when you don't even fucking listen to us, bro.
Like, this is why white men become Nazis, because y'all won't do outreach.
Right.
I was gonna say, let Pyro go, and then if you're done,
I'll go after Ashton once Bing finishes up, and then like Ashton can go, because like I know I talk the fuck a lot.
It's just that, let's put it this way. Let's not act like and let's not play fucking dumb, because a lot of these online niggas know what the fuck they're doing and they acting like they don't, and they know what the fuck you doing. I'm not gonna call no names. But I made my tweet and I don't give a fuck. Y'all niggas can fucking hate me, okay? I'll sit here and fucking educate my people, and I'm gonna tell y'all this straight up. And I'm gonna say this, and all the fucking allies can sit here and piss shit and come, and I don't give a fuck, okay? Look, let me explain something to you. Black people, us being in America, us participating and even existing in this fucking society is rebellion in the first fucking place. Because I'll keep it 1,000%. They do not want us here. They want us either to move out, kill each other, or kill ourselves. Period. They don't want us here.
Or be locked up to make them money.
Right. I do not need no white person talking about how they did more for the black community than I ever fucking did. Because honestly, you should do fucking more if I'm gonna keep it 1,000%. Because you and your ancestors have been doing a little bit too much with this racism that's been for the last 3-4 days. But I'm not gonna say no name. But
I was gonna say, I'm seeing Zeron in chat, and I'm like, that's a lot, yo. Like, that's a lot. People have been doing a lot, and it's just like, I'm still astounded by that shit every time. I'm literally just saying a basic fact about reality with no implications and no suggestions, and you're like, I'm crafting a narrative. That shit is beyond me. Go ahead, Aston. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I just wanted to talk about the fatigue thing because I think this is something I kind of do on stream sometimes when I'm just like I'm just trying to open up and be real about it because
Nigga,
like
did I just catch you being tired? You don't get that right here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, you feel me? Like I wake up in the morning
Same
and
thing
I
with
have
Amanda.
to,
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
I gotta work with little black children that I know. This one boy, it's Luana's nephew, and he can draw and he can sculpt. And me and homeboy had to sit down and talk about he ain't never gonna get to be an artist. I gotta go into these neighborhoods where I see people that with degrees that can't get jobs every day. I gotta drive around and see people with Confederate flags that want to walk up and talk to me and say, "Hey, look at that fat ass! Look at that fat ass over there!" When they point to a black woman like she a Jezebel, and then I gotta go home. And when I go home, and I just want to relax, and I just want to like pop on some fucking anime, I turn on a fucking anime, and every fucking anime's got slaves in it.
Ooh,
So I'm like, I don't ever get a fucking break. Y'all never let me forget I'm black. Never. Not
bro.
for a second
Oh no,
in
you'll
this
never
day
forget
do
that.
I get to, for 1 second, just imagine. Matter of fact, I don't get to forget that I'm black so much that the white people around me that are my actual allies have turned into angry black men.
Well,
'Cause
I
they
was
don't get
gonna
to
say
forget
you
I'm
should
black
just
either.
drink whatever Kool-Aid Shark 300 is drinking. But go ahead, Pyro.
Oh, wait,
So
just can I say something real quick? It's
Go
like one
for,
sentence, real quick.
go for it.
It's bro. We can't even be toxic and be horny in 4K because niggas really are sitting here doing racist ass shit, bro. Tell me why the fuck I was
Yeah.
looking at this fucking. It was like a an anime game, and the girl is like a dark skinned Asian, and her sister is light skinned, and she goes, "I wish you would tan your skin as dark as coal." And I'm like, bro, I'm trying to be toxic, bro. Why are you doing exactly?
That's a
Exactly.
lot, though.
Exactly. You can't get
That's a
away
lot.
from it. Like I'm just trying to do my thing over here and watch some goddamn titties. Fuck.
Bro, it's so terrible, bro. So terrible.
That's a lot.
uh
Pyro done lost his train of
okay.
thought.
Oof. Bro, that train of thought, it was chugging good, and then it just hit a
Derailed.
fucking no, it didn't derail, nigga. It hit a fucking wall, and then it exploded, and then it exploded again, and then a fucking anvil fell on it. Like Jesus Christ. Like, but like I was just gonna bring up two things, and then Ashton hit it, and then it's just gonna be an extended Pyro point because it's gonna be my last point of the night. It's fucking late as shit.
Yeah,
Man.
I was
Black
gonna say
niggas
I might
angry.
start wrapping up soon.
Black niggas angry. It really makes a nigga tired, just like this. But two things. One, Ashton's right. We don't get a break. And the media we watch, slave, gang violence, slave, like
Hood
really
movie.
sad yeah, like a really sad story of a black father trying to make it slave, hood movie, slave, Boys in the Hood Part 3.
Where's the
We never get a
Afrofuturism
break.
at? Where's the black astronauts at? Where's the black Gundam pilots at,
Oh
nigga?
no, I'll tell you. No, Endless, shut up, because I'll tell you where it is. Shut up, you darky, because that's where it is. Every time we try and bring ourselves into these mediums, what happens? There's a culture war flashback. You can't have a black person in Buzz Lightyear because I don't know, black people. You can't have black people in Lord of the Rings because black people. You can't have black people in Warhammer because, say it with me, folks, black people. You just can't. It becomes fucking political unless we're telling the stories that they have deemed okay for us to tell, which is just the oppression, which is just the negative shit that honestly we would like to step away from. My second point was going to be about like niggas don't realize how people are just treated in the LGBT community as black man. Like you just don't real you're a dick or you're not allowed or like there's very few instances where you're seen as like a viable companion. And Jesus Christ, if you are like, because that gets fucking awkward really fucking quick because the gay community, a lot of people don't know this. They are way more, they're damn near on par with the fucking conservatives in their racism. Like they are just open about with all of their bullshit. If you are fat, if you are disabled, if you are black, if you are anything other than a slim white male, honestly, yeah,
If you're not
are
twinked up, then yeah.
If you're not a white twink, you are on the bottom of that list, bro. If you're not some weird fucking fetish for these dudes, you're not getting clicked on or you're getting openly derided. And no one realizes that, but they want to talk about intersectionality. They want to talk about how good it is. Step on Grinder in the shoes of a black man for a day, and I'll let you know right now, it's not it. The amount of people who want to cheat with their wives with niggas is just like, you know what? I'm gay. I'm not down for that though.
Right.
And with that, I'm gonna just pop off because like I'm Pyro Tyrant and I've been here for like a good minute. And I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this was a good one. Can I get this VOD endless?
Yeah, it's gonna be on YouTube and well, yeah, YouTube is where the only place where it'll really live forever like that. But yeah, I'll shoot it over to you.
Bet. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'm a dip out too. Yeah, I'm Big Princess. BINKPRINCESS. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah.
It's
But
late.
yeah, I be shit posting on fucking Twitter, obviously. Post left or shit, uplifting. Black voices as much as I can with my small following. And I also am a fellow alternative black person, Afro alt person, so I post a lot of alternative black people on my page as well. So that's something we do. I'm just the same thing on Twitter. Uh and yeah, so I hope y'all learn something because holy fucking shit. Don't be toxic, okay? But yeah, later y'all. Good night.
Oh yeah, Aston, plug your shit because I'm about to play some Dead by Daylight and chill for a minute.
Yeah, let me get the fuck up out of here. I'm Aston Mac from Aston Mac TV. You haven't seen me stream in the month, and the reason why you haven't is the thing that I'm going to hopefully be streaming live tomorrow, which is I've worked together with our local Food Not Bombs to create a food distribution hub, and we will be feeding people tomorrow. It will also go along with the opening of our radical library, we will be lending these radical thinkers that y'all refuse to read and learn and get the anti-racism from out to the community because maybe the next generation will get it. All right. So like as much as FD said in that video, remember consuming content is not fucking praxis.
Facts. Big
Bye,
fucking
y'all.
facts. Thanks, Aston. Thanks all everybody for joining me. I guess that's gonna hell yeah. I'm glad y'all are gonna link. Whoops. Let me turn my camera back on. Cause now it's time for the daddies. Daddies. Let me reactivate it. Alright. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm gonna chill probably. I'm gonna play a few games, and I'm obviously gonna talk if y'all want to talk or elaborate on anything that y'all just heard, because I know I didn't really read a whole lot of chat while we were talking and stuff. So if you want to hang out with me and converse with me in chat about any of that or about anything at all, I'm about to play some Dead by Daylight and probably scream like a small child after Mikey finds me and stabs me in my booty cheeks. So yeah. Guess y'all done edited the vid. Yeah, so my next YouTube video, also I forgot to mention, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a medical apartheid stream. We're starting from chapter 3. I think I read the first 2 chapters. It might have just been the first chapter and like most of the prologue or the introduction. But I will be reading Medical Apartheid tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's getting to the chapter now where we're talking about, you know, Binkin. The main gist of the conversation tonight was the erasure of black women, and especially black trans women, and, you know, black MB folk. And we're going to get to a lot of that greasy shit that's has historical precedent in America, especially when it comes to the medical industry. Yeah, hell yeah, Frackle. Thanks for coming through. Low standards not even met. Well, this is what we're saying, is that this is where the black fatigue comes from, is that we set the bar so fucking low, and y'all will literally get a fucking excavator and jackhammer to go below it every fucking time. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, and it's no big deal, Amanda Panda. So like the thing about my channel is that this is like what I fucking talk about on here. So if you miss one stream, don't worry, because I'm sure it'll come up again within the next few streams, just because we have to say the same dumbass shit over and fucking over again. This is part of why it becomes so exhausting. You know what I mean? We say basic ass shit like, hey, Black trans lives matter. That's it. Apropos of nothing. It's like, are you saying other trans lives don't matter? And it's like, my nigga, what the fuck? Nah, I appreciate you coming through, Pyro. I'm glad y'all came and cooked with me because I was getting frustrated just by myself. But shout out to all people in chat. Shout out to Amanda Panda Sensei. Shout out to Young Black Economist, Mordecai. Shout out to fucking Zeron. Shout out to Epiphany. Shout out to Frackle, of course. Shout out to David. Y'all are super engaged. Shout out to Danny Boy. What in the fuck is happening? God damn it, dude. Shout out to Keyblade, of course. My brother. I might not play Dead by Daylight. Hold on, we'll see. What's up with my fucking Steam? Why is my desktop like this? I have ADHD. I am neurodivergent. Don't bliller you. What up, Globus? Shout out to Nabila as well. Fuck yeah. Kind of in between in a way. The chuds don't know where to place my ass, so I'm often the victim of anti-brown and anti-black racism, so I genuinely don't know how to talk about my experiences sometimes. I'm sure you've been called a fucking sand N-word, you know what I'm saying? And I've said this on stream ahead times before too, is after 9/11, y'all got made honorary niggas. Y'all got knocked right down to the fucking bottom. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you actually come from. If you're brown, and especially if you're like a Sikh or something like that, you have some shit that just looks foreign, like a turban or some shit like that, rest in peace. You might as well move your ass to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Oh my god, I want this game so fucking bad. I need this job to pay me ASAP. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. Shout out to Arun as well. But my new job, you enjoyed my commentary tonight? Or you're talking to Pyro, my fault. Pyro's always good. Pyro's always on point. Excuse me, sorry. But yeah, follow Arun as well. 21st century racism is pretty goddamn sweeping. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just, it's so capitalism based now, you know what I mean? Your people are literally going through a literal genocide. I've been begging peeps to care, but it's not on the approved list of things to care about. Seeing the same, but yeah, we're talking about, whether we're talking about the fucking